Hi, I'm Elliot, a writer, and I am typing out The Great Gatsby. Why? Because that was something Hunter S Thompson did, because he wanted to see what it would be like to write a masterpiece. Now that I have some time on my hands, I figured it would be a good opportunity to give it a shot myself. So, please join me every Saturday until I finish the whole novel. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Typing Out The Great Gatsby with me, Elliot Chan. And so it's been another crazy week here of existence. Actually, this is Vancouver, and things are lightening up a little bit here. The government has announced their plan to slowly reopen businesses and get people back to work, and maybe summer is saved, but I don't know. Yeah. Things are still happening. Things are still a little crazy around here. Still, people everywhere, people seem to just living normal lives with a lot of heightened anxiety, I suppose, and me, I'm just trying to get by day to day, really. So yeah, typing out The Great Gatsby. This is episode 7. Who would have thought we would make it to this point? There's still so much left to go, and I'm worried that suddenly all my free time will be gone, and I can't prioritize this anymore. So that's a little bit of a concern. I'll have like things to do, like going to restaurants and bars and parties and everything. So it's a little worrisome. But yeah, overall, I feel tired. I feel tired a lot, and I have no reason to really just being cooped up at home, and I'm a homebody too, so I've been enjoying it that way, but it wears you out. It really does. And so here I am, and we got a lot to get through today, so let's get a move on, shall we? Yeah. Like I mentioned last week, that I have my building is what am I trying to say here? My building has a planned power outage right now, so I am without internet, I am without any electricity at all. So that kind of sucks. So I had to export everything from Google Drive, which has been where I was typing everything, and I'm writing in Pages right now, the app Pages, and so my font is a little bit different, but you gotta make do with what I have. Every week there has been new challenges with this whole project, and I'm kind of excited to look back on this when it's all done and just see everything that I've been through. It's like a little snapshot, like a 1-hour snapshot every week over the course of many weeks, 7 so far. So another thing that I have been doing is talking about my intentions for this whole typing out thing, which means having a small focus of what I'm hoping to accomplish when I actually film this, when I'm typing it out, what I'm actually looking for. And so today I want to look at the last word in a sentence. So what I mean by that is the last word in a sentence tends to be the highlighted word, the word that you want to leave your reader feeling like it punctuates it. It's like the punchline. And what it does is it's usually the most powerful word. So that's just something I want to look for today, is what word does F. Scott Fitzgerald end his sentences with? And I'm gonna try my best to kind of acknowledge it, notice it, but if I miss it, of course, that is bound to happen. But this is, I feel like the best way to learn is not just to do it absent-mindedly, but to have a bit of a focus with what you're doing, an intention, as they like to say. Before we start, give me 1 second. All right, because I'm doing this all by myself, as I mentioned, I have to sometimes just check to see if the camera is still recording, because it'll be a shame. It'd be a shame if it wasn't. All right, let's get back to this. So when we last left off in the story, I believe Nick is with Tom, and they're all hanging out in this New York apartment, I believe, and Tom's mistress has purchased a dog, and Nick is a bit drunk, and he's just hanging out. I hate it when the what is it called, apostrophe? There's supposed to be quotation marks here, but I think this is a British copy, and so they only use one quotation, an apostrophe, so it's confusing my North American software here. I can never spell Myrtle correctly. It's just like in my brain, it's not a word or a name. I have so much trouble with names. It's not even funny. Like saying them, spelling them, remembering them. This guy's Mr. McKee is an artiste. Oh, I just typed the same sentence twice. Oh boy, this is gonna be a long one. It's like when sometimes you're reading and you just keep reading the same sentence over and over again, and you're like, why am I even alive? Why am I even doing this? I'm practicing capitalizing things. I'm practicing speed reading, like reading things faster, and it's hard. It's a hard thing to get used to. I don't enjoy it. It kind of kills the pleasure of reading when I'm just trying to it makes it a chore instead of an enjoyment. And yeah, I don't know. I would like to read faster. There's too many books out there. Not loving this chapter. It's kind of dull. I don't really care about what these people are saying, but let's see if it leads to anything. Oh yeah, Catherine is the Mrs. What's her name? Wilson. Myrtle, I believe her name, her sister. And I think she's gonna try to flirt with Nick right now. Maybe something interesting will happen. I wish I have the indentation figured out, because I have to press an extra thing. My fingers are already so tired just from my office job and doing this every week. It's always so loud here. Last week it was like fire alarms going off. This week is, I think they're just people dying outside, to be honest. That's what's happening. So I apologize for people dying and messing up with my audio. I'm sorry. Gatsby. Finally, they're talking about Gatsby. One thing I do like about this book is there's always this debate about who the protagonist is. It's like, is Nick the protagonist, or is he just a narrator, or is Gatsby the protagonist? And it's been a chapter and a half, more than that, and Gatsby has only appeared once, and every other time he's kind of mentioned, and I kind of like that, you know? Like, it's so mysterious. It's like a lead up to it. What a weird relationship they have. This artist doesn't like to take requests, I suppose. Neither do I. I don't like it when people suggest things to me. It's like, I got my own plan. Don't worry about it. I know what I'm doing. You know? It's like, oh, you should make a video about this, or you should write about that. It's like, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna type The Great Gatsby. I'm just gonna focus on that for a bit. Well, it throws me off. Her name. I wish the scene would end. See, it's all like a style thing, right? Like capitalizing at the end of a quotation that ends with a ending punctuation mark, like a period or a question mark. But it's just correcting it. Where am I? Oh. What's interesting about this whole exchange right now is Fitzgerald is not going into the details of actually what they're talking about. He's kind of just leaving you on the outside the same way Nick is feeling right now. And it's all kind of just nonsense, and it's all just these pretentious people interacting with each other. But you're really getting a sense of you don't really belong, like you're not really involved in this conversation, because you're kind of having like bits and pieces that's very scattered, but it's always being pulled away to something else. And the attention, like these people want attention so bad that they just keep talking about themselves, and it's real. Oh, just get out of here. I don't love Pages as a software. I don't like typing in it. I think it's not a great replacement for Microsoft Word or any of the Microsoft Office tools. The Apple version is just kind of, the interface is not as nice. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'll do a video comparing the two and what I like. I really like Google Docs for many reasons. It's simple, and yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's continue with this. So I think that line right there kind of sums up the whole interaction of the scene. It's like that's the purpose, is to show that love is kind of this foreboding thing that tends to be I don't know, it's just sometimes you miss the target, right? It's true. Seems so simple. Seems so simple. Ooh. Yikes. Oh, now it's getting juicy. First couple page of the day, done. Got four more in a little bit. Let's really try to get through it today. Focus on that. Huh. There you go. I like it. A little bit of a drama finally happening. Things are being revealed to Nick. And let's just look at a few of the last words from the past few sentences here, right? It's interesting. It's so subtle. It's so subtle. Like the word obscene is violent and obscene. It leaves you with that. And then she's a Catholic and they don't believe in divorce. Love it. And Daisy was not a Catholic, and I was a little shocked at the elaborateness of the lie, ending with lie. And it's just there's many ways to structure a sentence, but it's always so much more powerful when you end with a meaningful word. Sometimes you can end it with like something clunky or lazy, like of. I hate it when I end a sentence with the word of. It happens. I don't have an example off the top of my head. Maybe later I will. Not right now, I don't. So that's just quick. I'll try to see if I could catch more as I go through this. Wouldn't it be great to travel? Just to have something. I don't even want to travel. I want to have a trip to look forward to. That's my favorite part of traveling. And yeah. And I have none of that. I don't have that right now. Marseille. I've been to Marseille. It's pouring rain that day when we were there, but we had a wonderful time. Went to a restaurant, a really nice restaurant, and I used the bathroom. And in the bathroom, there was just this tallest tower of toilet paper I've ever seen. It was incredible. It's perfect for quarantine. It's annoying when those are the things I remember about our trip. It's not gyped. That's the word. Can't even search for stuff right now because I don't have internet. So I can't. Where am I? We had an awful time. Hilarious. Guess she didn't have a good time. So this is interesting. This line right here. Thinking of the last word. The last word is room. But you could feel himself leaving it for a second and then being brought back to the room. That's the setting that Fitzgerald wanted your mind to be back in. And yeah. So your sentence can like take your reader somewhere, and with the last word, you could bring it back to where you want them to be in the end, in the moment. I think that makes sense. In my mind, that made sense. Don't you know it's almost? A little tyke. I don't like this Catherine girl. Wait, isn't her name Catherine? I don't know. Is Lucille short for Catherine? You. Interesting. I often have trouble using colons, not sure where to place them or if I'm using them properly. It's good to see an example of where it could be used. All right, I think it is a good time for a little short break here for a Fitzgerald fun fact. I'll make this one quick because we have a lot left to type. Fitzgerald fun fact. The Great Gatsby was almost called oh god, I was practicing saying this word before, but I can never practice enough. Trimalchio. The Great Gatsby, fuck. The Great Gatsby was almost called Trimalchio, or Trimalchio in West Egg. Trimalchio is a Roman character who is an arrogant former slave that became rich. Imagine if this book was called Trimalchio in West Egg. I don't think it would have become a classic. So titles are so important. And Trimalchio is the fictional character is apparently mentioned in chapter 7. So we should keep an eye on that. So there you go. The Great Gatsby was almost called Trimalchio, or Trimalchio in West Egg. That's a fun fact. I like that one. I like knowing what the working titles for certain works are. It's always very interesting to see how that evolution happened, or when an adaptation happens and people decide to like change the name of the novel to the movie, or different. What am I trying to say here? Like Blade Runner is a good one. It was Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Just imagine you walking up to the box office and saying, can I get 2 tickets for Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? It doesn't have the same ring to it as when you say Blade Runner. And that's something I think about often, is how will people talk about my piece of work? It's like, have you read blah, 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 blah? And you don't want the title to be too long or, you know, too flowery or too flowy when people misinterpret it. However, it's also your choice to name your work whatever you want. It doesn't always have to do with marketing. It should just be whatever your gut is telling you to do, because that is your name. You can name anything, just like Elon Musk naming his child whatever it is, which is cool. I'm all for naming things whatever you want them to be named. That is my stance on that. All right, let's get back into this. I feel a little stressed out right now because I really want to get to the end of this chapter, because I'm honestly sick of this chapter. I want some Gatsby, not this Myrtle Wilson person. So much talk about marriage in the story. I kind of forgot how that was such like a big theme in it. I just thought it was mostly about, I guess the whole story is about infidelity and adultery, but I kind of just remember the wait, where am I? Tricky with dialogue. Dialogue is much harder to type than just narrative expositions. It skips lines. Also, I'm just not in the groove today. I'm never in the groove. I don't remember like reflecting on it. I'm like, was there an episode where I really felt like I was on it? Maybe episode 2. I think episode 2 was the best. That was the one where I had a lot of momentum going in. I was excited for it. And ever since, I think it peaked at episode 2. Oh, fuck you. I can't spell this word. Don't name your child Myrtle. Whatever you do. Moaning Myrtle. That's pretty much the only Myrtle I'm aware of. Okay. It's always fun to hear if you could get it out of people, their reason for getting married or not getting married. It's such a philosophical thing, right? It's just what do you believe? The belief that you're doing the right thing, you're marrying the right person. There's a lot of optimism to it, and I like that. I'm very happily married, in case you're wondering. This is great. This is funny. I like the it's so hard writing literature with humor in it. This is funny. This is a good example of ending on really strong words, or words that the writer wanted to leave the reader with it stays with you, right? Accusingly and affection. Good words for what's happening in that actual paragraph itself. It's almost like if you take all the last words in a paragraph, they should be able to give you a hint of what that paragraph is about. Maybe that's a good way to look at it or think about it. I guess that's a little embarrassing. You should have at least mentioned it. A good marriage is really built upon trust. That is what it's all about. Okay, I think this is the good part for the next segment of the show, which is where I time myself to see how quickly, no, what am I saying? To see, how many words I could type in a minute. This is a new segment. Last time, what did I get? 63 words, I believe. So this time, this seems like a good part for me to try to break that record right now. All right, in 1 minute, I have 1 minute. I'm gonna see if I could beat 63 words. Ready? All right. No, these M dashes. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Autocorrect, thank you. Oh, no. I don't know. Oh, stop. Well, that doesn't count. Let's see, how did I do here? 59. 59 words. Let's see, I don't know where things are. The word count is just at the bottom of pages. You don't have to open anything. You kind of just see it. Just like highlight and you can see it. 59, not bad, but not the record. I was bound to not beat it at some point, right? So there you go. There you go. Another segment. The M dashes really slowed me down. If I didn't have to do those 2 M dashes and the quotation marks, I think I would have come close. I think I would have gotten it. Whew, okay, summed up what it's like to be trapped at a party that you don't want to be at. And ending it with an inextinguishable variety of life. How poetic. That's the last word, life. Sums it up. Can't really escape it. You long for it, but once you're in it, you're kind of in it. Oh, I gotta stretch up my legs here. All right. Another 2 pages complete. All right. I'm gonna really kind of focus and try my best to plow through it as best as I can. So I might not say too much. Oh, my legs. They're like falling asleep on me right now. sitting on the floor, so humbled. I always think about that. It's like one day I won't be on the floor anymore, but it's what the Japanese do, right? I'm not Japanese, by the way. So is this cultural appropriation? Eyes off. And every time he looked at me, I had to pretend to be looking at Whew. This is a workout. My heart is like racing. Whew. That was a long thing. These people and their unhappy relationships. I don't think there's so few moments that I'm noticing where Fitzgerald is ending a sentence with like a weak word, like a preposition. Well, it here, but it's dialogue. So. I could sure go for a massage right now. Okay. There's still another page to go. I'm gonna end it before. I'm not gonna make it to the end of the chapter this time, but I'm gonna finish this paragraph. Makes me feel. Last week I was moments after I finished filming, like the fire alarm started going off in my apartment, so I'm glad I didn't continue. But now I feel like I'm behind. I was really hoping to get the second chapter done in 3 episodes. It's unfortunately gonna take more than that. Chapter 3 is a long one too. I looked ahead, and so that one's gonna take a while. Remember at the beginning when I thought doing this was such an easy thing to do? Like, this will be a fun way to get through the quarantine. Now it's become work. Okay, that's a good place to stop. That's a good place to stop. My wife and my dog just returned from their walk, so I'm gonna go say hi to them. And yeah, here's to another episode. We did it. We didn't get to the end, but I think we'll just save it for next week. We'll save it for next week, right? See how this party ends up. I'm gonna leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger here, right? And we'll see how this party concludes next week when I return. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. My power is still out. Still no electricity in this place. But we got through this. Week 7. Wow. What will happen next week? Both in The Great Gatsby and in the real world. There's an ambulance out there from earlier. Hope everybody's okay. Hope you enjoy your week. I will see you 1 week from today. Get some rest, relax, and just enjoy these moments, because it'll pass. It'll end. Like The Great Gatsby, it'll surely end. And yet, I'm only through this much. It's taking me so long. Anyways, that's me for today. Thank you for joining me. We didn't get to the end of chapter 2 like I hoped, but we got to the end of episode 7, typing The Great Gatsby. All right. I'll see you next time.